And hi everyone, we are once again coming to you live from myself, Singapore, and Amanda from Taiwan. And let me introduce myself a quick one. My name is Jen, and for those who doesn't know me, I'm actually a single working mom in Singapore to two teenage boys. Yeah, and I'm also running an online digital business. So that's a brief about me. And Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Absolutely. So happy Thursday again, everyone. So glad to see you here. My name is Amanda. I'm a Philippine born Chinese currently living in Taiwan. And by daytime, I'm a product developer. And during my weekends and my leisure time, I'm a digital business owner like Jen.
Right, right. And this is getting exciting because this is actually one of my favorite topics. And we Amanda and myself, we start this series of sharing. We are calling it reset, restart, refocus in our life. And I think in last week we actually spoke about um this employee mindset versus an entrepreneur mindset, right? So today, we actually, go deeper inside to find out what's really the difference between digital business versus traditional business. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite topic because I used to I used to run a traditional business, right? So it's very close to my heart because I can see the huge difference. And one of the very significant difference is that when you run a traditional business, right, you need to be always present. And it's like example, if you're a retail shop, right, you need to open a shop, then you get customers to come in, right? If you are not present, then basically you have no business, right? Whereas for digital business, it's very different. You don't need to be present, but you not only you don't need to be present, you can still reach out to your clients. You can still earn while you are basically not present physically. Yeah, so that's really one of the huge difference that I see. So how about Amanda? Would you want to share, your perspectives?
Absolutely. I never started my own business, but my parents used to have a traditional business, a brick and mortar business selling tricycle spare parts in the
Mm,
Philippines. And so I totally agree with what Jen says. Every day, from Monday to Sunday, we have to open up our store from 7 o'clock till 7 in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. And basically, if my mom or my dad wasn't there, then basically there's no income for us. And for a family of five children, that's a huge expense for the entire household. And so we are relying on that small shop to keep us alive and for our education, for our food on the table, and for other leisure activities that we want. Not to mention, if we want to go out abroad, that means we have to close down the entire shop for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, that it will depend. So the longest vacation that we have was 2 weeks. So I think it's that's the max for my mom. And beyond that, it's gonna definitely affect our income. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so hesitant into going or diving into traditional business myself, because I saw the hardships that my parents went through, and I'm not sure if I'm capable enough or to withstand the same pressure. And
yep.
so that's when I encountered this digital business. I thought, okay, I saw the potential. I saw that I don't have to be there 24/7. Basically, it's everything is running online, so I can manage everything from my laptop or mobile phone and internet connection.
Mm,
And all I need to do is learn everything about
right,
social media
right,
marketing and advertising, and then that's it. And basically, the store is up and running on the net, on the web,
right.
on the online, or on the web pages, or yes. And so for me, it's a no brainer. When I saw this digital opportunity, I thought, okay, this is something that I can work on without giving myself too much of a stress,
Yep.
regardless of financial stress or physical stress.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're so right, because this is the I say because digital business is more flexible, right? Unlike traditional business, and time freedom is something that being a traditional business owner you will not get. Yeah,
Yes.
this is so real. And actually, um, because the fact that like you say, there's automation in the system, it makes a lot of things so much easier and
Yeah.
less headache.
Yeah.
So, because when I used to run a traditional business, I know that the type of cost. Okay, let's not talk about like manpower cost of running the business. The cost that you have to maintain the business is really quite significant, right? If you want to automate your own system, you want to build your own website whatsoever, this is the technology era, right? So a lot of businesses, we all have our website, our social media page, etc. So you need to get all this set up, all the backend infrastructure, and it's really, really very costly. It can cost you at least 20 to 30 grand startup, and then you have, be it monthly or annual type of retainer fee that you need to pay. There's a lot of costs involved in all those things, and it's really a hassle. It's really a headache. Whereas, for digital business like ours, all these, I call it, all these technical stuff are all taken care of right at the back end. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to go through all these things. And best of all, there is no such thing like, you have to pay a retainer fee to get it constantly updated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in fact, when we talk about cost, right? Um, I'm sure, the cost of running and setting up, I won't say even running, right? Because you spoke about running cost. The cost of setting up a traditional business would be so much higher, compared to a digital business. I'm not sure, Amanda, have you came across like even franchise businesses, right? Those traditional business. Have you any idea how much does it cost?
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I that's actually one of my wish lists when I was young. When I didn't know about franchise business, I thought, okay,
Mm-mm,
in my on the scratchbook that I used to have, one thing that I lost list down was McDonald's or any franchise business, so that I could learn their system and establish my own. And so I actually asked one of the coffee shops, one of the famous local coffee shops here in Taiwan, and it will the minimum, not saying the entire investment, but minimum you have to invest 5 million NT dollars and for the setup alone, and that excludes uh, the store rent, excludes the interior decoration or renovation, and just that's just for
mm-mm,
setting up alone. And so I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't have 5
mm-mm,
million NT dollars sitting in my bank account that will, that I could easily spare and just to start up a business.
mm-mm,
And so that is why a
mm-mm,
lot of people or a lot of traditional business owners, they go to the banks for mortgage or loans. And so
mm-mm.
for me, that's a big financial stress even before I start selling coffee.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And how much would that be estimated in USD?
5 million NT dollars will be roughly around 150, 160,000 US
Mm-hmm.
dollars.
Yeah. Okay. That's quite similar because, in fact, about 2 or 3 years back, I've always in the education industry. 2 to 3 years back, someone actually approached me to ask if I'm keen to run another education franchise. After I exited from my own business, someone approached me in the education, and the upfront fee is anything about Singapore dollar is about 400K.
Wow. Wow.
So,
That's
okay, so if it's, yeah, that's a lot. Let's say if I'm talking about the exchange rate estimate, that's about 285 USD at least. And how
wow.
many, like you say, how many of us have this type of money sitting around waiting to set up a business, right?
Yes.
And and if I'm an ordinary person who really want to earn more money, right? How on
Yeah.
earth would I have that 285 USD in the first place? So so that's what I also really love about, setting this type of digital business, because the setup cost is relatively just a fraction, literally just a
Yes.
fraction of all
Yes.
this. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is really something that I feel that one of the reason why a lot of people are going online, because
Yeah.
of the time freedom, because of the flexibility, and even the startup cost is very much different, right? And
Mm.
not to mention, after you set up all these franchisee businesses, you need to pay royalty fee, and
Yeah.
because of that, a lot of time, it takes a very long time to I wouldn't
Yeah.
say even get profits. It takes a much longer time to even break even
Yep.
before you cut back your profits. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely
this is
agree. And I think, Jen, you have this table, right, that you want to share with the
right,
audience. And
right,
so I
right.
think that would give the audience a better idea of the comparison between traditional business and an online business, because as we mentioned, we've already covered the cost, so, and the time as well. So I
Yeah,
think those are the two immediate factors that you want to consider or think about before starting a business, right? So what are the costs, what's your time? And so with the either an educational franchise or a coffee shop franchise, you need a physical store. And what does physical store entails? Monthly rent. And you have the rent, the gas, the utility, all of the utility bills. And so the cost just adds up and piles up month after month after month.
right,
And as Jen mentioned, it's either it's a long road ahead before you get to break even. Not, let's
right,
not mention about
right.
ROI, but just to
Yeah,
break even, how long will it take you? How many coffees do you have to sell? How many students do you have to teach per month so that you could actually earn money, right? And so
right,
with the online business, basically it's because the online space is such a huge, enormous space where basically there is no physical store. I mean, yes, you have a store, but then you only need, let's make it concrete, right? So there is a store online. Basically, it's just a website URL and a web page. That's it.
right. Yeah,
And how much will it cost to get a web page or a website URL? Let's say we could get that for 30 or 35 US dollars or 40 US dollars, depending on the package that you wanted to get. And
right,
then you want to add some more email domains. You could, easily within 60 US dollars, I would say 60 US dollars or 70 US dollars, you could have everything set up, the basic
right,
one set up. And then
right.
that's it.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah,
60, 70 US dollars, I'm pretty much sure everyone here has that amount of money in our bank account. And that's a money that we can actually spare. And as business owners, regardless of whether your experience or you're new to this to the business world, there is going to be trial and error. We cannot avoid that trial and error. And so with the online space at 60 to 70 US dollars, you could try that for a year or 2 years. And that's something that you could actually a cost or a risk that everyone can take, right?
right, right. So this is definitely so much more affordable compared to having to pay your monthly rental, for example, right? So
Yeah.
in terms of operation cost is so much lower. And not to mention about, when you run a traditional business, most of the time you need manpower, right? You
Yeah.
need you need to employ staff. And employment is one thing, sustaining them, retaining is one thing. And for those who have managed teams before, they'll need know that people management is truly not something that is quite easy. So whereas an online business, you are your own boss. You make decision how you want to run your business, and when you have a community with people like us, we can brainstorm things together, we collaborate together, but you still call your shots. So
Yes.
if you look at that perspective, right, things are so much leaner and easier to run, I would say.
Yeah.
Typically, I would say easier, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff, operational stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And
And yeah.
yeah, just imagine if you're running an educational institution franchise business. So there is gonna be
Mm.
a government regulation, like how many for one class, one teacher, how many students can you actually teach, right? There's government regulations on that one. And so
Yeah.
as if you're the business owner, you're the teacher, and then you're the admin staff, you're the cleaner, it is very tiring, exhausting. But unlike
Yeah.
Jen and I, who are running this online business, basically we're just one person, a one man business. But then because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things are automated as already, so that means we can manage it using our spare time. So literally we're managing
Right.
it using our spare time without exhausting ourselves, without killing ourselves to death just to run a side hustle, right? So
Right.
that's one of the beauties about having your own
Yes.
online business. So it's really
Yes.
something that you could do on the side. You can do it alone, and you can do it
Yep.
in whatever time that suits you best, because again, it's online, running 24/7, so you don't have to be there physically to manage everything.
Right. And another beauty of it is, because it's online, you get to reach out globally instead of just being confined to that particular country that you are in, right? Just
Yes.
like how Amanda and myself, how we are doing this. I'm from Singapore, she's from Taiwan, and we've got business partners from all over the world. So, if you want to run in the traditional way, what you need to do, you got to fly there, you got to fly back, you got to fly to, let's say, Taiwan, you got to fly to UK or wherever that you want to reach out to, right? Whereas this
Yes.
is a breeze. I would really say it's a breeze.
Correct, correct. And one thing about having that customer reach is you're limited to a certain city and you're tied down to a single location, right? And so when
Right.
you're tied down to a single location, once some competition comes in, so it's going to be a hard, it's going to be a hard business, going to be a tough business, because you've got this item that you're stuck with, and then there's another competition who would basically grab some of your customers out from your business. So you'd have to figure out a way on how to innovate constantly, right? And so
Right.
not only are you tied to one physical location all year round, but you have to face competition. And when you face competition, you're kind of stuck because you can't just leave your store. But unlike with the online business, so there's so much flexibility. So let's say I wanted to target, or I want my target audience are Chinese living in Australia, and somehow Australia is there's a lot of let's say the business or the market in Australia is already saturated. So I could target United States, or I could target Europe. So I don't have to be physically there in Australia or in USA or Europe, but I could target this audience. And so it's very flexible for me to pick a market, pick a segment that where
Yeah.
I could stand out. And
Right.
so that's I can do that with just in one day. That's it. But with a physical
Yeah.
store, can you do that in one? You can't just say, oh, I'm going to move to 10 blocks away from my current location because I've got competition. No, you can't, right? It will take you half a year to renovate and move everything and adjust everything. And so with this online business, it's just one day, or
Right.
even
Right.
half a
And
day. That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
Right, right. And things are just so fluid, right? It may not be just competition. It could be just market changes, um, you
Yeah.
know, market trends that's going to change. Sometimes you can't keep up with the change, but where we are in a digital space, you can, it's so fluid and you can just make changes so quickly. And it's really
Correct.
almost immediate. Yeah. So this is,
Correct.
I mean, honestly, this whole this can go on, but we sort of like help to put this together, and the like I shown here, right? What is truly the verdict? The verdict is really like, if you are running a traditional business, there's really a lot more cost involved, be it startup, be it running costs, whatsoever that we're looking at. And time freedom, you are always very restricted, right? And there's so much more, right? And that is why, like I said, people are moving online, going to the digital space. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I hope that gives the audience some perspective on how our business is different from the traditional business. I mean, this business is just for everyday people. As Jen and I have mentioned a while ago, it's low startup cost. It's basically you can manage it using your spare time. You don't have to have a huge financial stress before starting this business. Basically, we don't have the crazy franchising costs or royalty fees like the traditional business. You don't have to take on loans or mortgages just to run up or set up your online business. Basically, you could just work on your credit card, or if you have some savings that you think you could spare for your online business, then this is really something that everyday people can afford and can establish. And as Jen mentioned a while ago, and I wanted to reiterate, is that we have a huge community here who will be glad to help you. So even if you don't have a business experience, like for my instance, I don't have any prior business background. I've never started my own company before. So with the comprehensive training that the system offers, or this business offers, plus the community support, it's so easy for everyday people to learn how to set up
Right.
this online business.
Absolutely. So, do reach out to us if you want to, find out how this is something that you can explore. We'll be happy to share more. Yeah, and that's truly, what we like to share with you today. And, in the online space, there are so many different type of businesses as well. So, what we really want to do is next week, continue to join us as we will explain a little bit more about, some of the common misconceptions about our type of business. And you will probably get to know a little bit more about our nature of business as well. So stay tuned. We will be very happy to see how we can help everyday people like you and us, to make this change and change your lives. Yeah. Anything else you
Yes.
want to add, Amanda?
Nothing else. I think we're gonna cover a lot of good stuff next week. If you're really interested into learning more on how can you get online, how can you earn money online, then feel free to join us next week.
Yeah. And
Yes.
we will see you next week again. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great Thursday.